G'day and welcome to the TheJadeRat. Thank you for joining me in this video today. It is an exciting time in the art community, if one can consider me an artist, I don't know. And it is October, or as many people know it, it's the time for Inktober. And you know, it's a really exciting time. Inktober was created by Jake Parker. A while back, actually. It's a pretty old sort of art-related challenge. It's been going on for quite a long time in the history of sort of social media and trending topics. And it's essentially a challenge to get one's drawing and inking skills sort of up to par and sort of promote this habit of working towards something every day. And so today we're going to go through the first 7 prompts in these time-lapse paintings, and you're probably watching right now that we're going through the first one, which is ring. This sort of challenge this year is actually based off of a theme. So last year, which was the first time that I did it last year, this is my second year of attempting the challenge. I actually did complete it successfully, but one of the hardest things that I found was to find a consistent sort of theme. I'm not a big fan of that sort of Halloween, obviously. It's not celebrated as much in Australia, and also I don't like scary things because they're scary, and so I don't really know how to go about doing Inktober. So last year I had this problem where I was sort of stuck, and the work that I did was sort of this smattering of everything. And so this time I decided to go with a theme. So as you can see here, I'm currently doing the prompt ring with a large golden bell from a special island called Jaya. And Jaya is important, not only because it is my name, but also because it comes from a TV series and a comic series that I love a lot, which is One Piece. And One Piece, created by Eiichiro Oda, is essentially the theme that I'm going for. And the reason I picked this theme is because it's something that I'm interested in, I'm passionate about, and I actually enjoy. So I feel like these sort of works, they're actually fan art pieces, and there'll be essentially 31 fan art pieces at the end of this challenge. And now we've finished the first one, which is the golden bell, and we're moving on to the second one, which is mindless, the prompt. And that's really exciting for me because I can look at these prompts and go through my experience with One Piece and really sort of find a connection with it as a viewer and as a fan for a very long time. I can really find a connection with each of these prompts and sort of derive something that is personal. And of course, because these are not original works, I'm not intending to get anything out of it other than just to practice my skills. As a result of that, this is some people they like to sell their Inktober works afterwards, and I'm not intending to do anything of that because I do consider these like fan art pieces, and I'm not really looking for a profit in any way aside from my actual skills and getting into the habit of drawing and inking more regularly, hopefully every day. And so as a result of these are fan arts, and they're, especially if you notice the first couple, they're taken almost directly from other panels in the comics and in the manga, or stills from the TV show. Day 3, Day 2, Mindless, which is Monster Point Chopper, and Day 3, which is Pedro. These are they're referenced pretty much exactly from the original work, and it's mostly used, as you can see, I use a brush, mostly used just to improve my brushwork because I am a horrendous drawer, in the sense that I can draw it okay, but it's not nowhere near as good as I would like it to be. So that's what I'm looking forward to in Inktober this year. There are a couple of instances where I sort of look at a reference. So as we can see here with Aokiji or Kuzan, I don't know what's going on with him in the series, to be honest. I don't know, is he a good guy, is he a bad guy, I don't know. But his actual image is derived from the original. So unlike the first three prompts and pieces that were taken pretty much directly from the panel, or still, this one, Aokiji's one, is using reference pictures from the manga, but it has a little bit of my own take on it. That certain things like the nose and the way that it's shaded is not how it would be done in the original work. So that's sort of something that I like to put my own spin on it. But, you know, I had a lot of fun doing, especially Aokiji's one, because I think it was the first actual human portrait that I had done. And it was nice to do in ink, because you're only focused on one color, which is the Indian ink. Speaking of colors, the first prompt was the only one where I actually used colored ink, and that was by Kohinoor, and they're colored drawing inks. But I don't like to use them too much, because you sort of get into this trap of thinking that they're like watercolors, but when you start layering on top of each other, they start to move around a little bit too much. So I decided to go for just black and white. And now we're moving on to Frankie, which is day 5 build. And I was really excited to do this one, even though this is probably my second least favorite after the first day. Because the first day you're like excited, and then you just do something really poorly because you're overexcited, and then you don't think it through. But with Frankie, aside from his poor right hand, which I totally messed up because I forgot how hands work, Frankie I was really excited about, because he's a character that I really, in a way, look up to. Obviously not because of his fashion sense, but because he's a cyborg, and he has a very heavy robotics influence, and that is something that I actually studied, and something that I intend to pursue my career in, which is robotics and mechatronics. So seeing Frankie in the show, and then later on going on to do mechatronics, or even like engineering in general, is really exciting, because that's what he's known for, and he's really good at it. And I was like, man, wish I could be like a cyborg. Obviously wearing more pants than Frankie does, but there we go. Next one is Smoker, and the reason why I picked Smoker for this is because the prompt is husky. Now I was like, well, there's not that many dog characters, and like the most famous probably dog character is not a husky, like in terms of a Siberian husky. But I looked up the definition, and it can also be referred to as just sort of gravelly voice. And if you watch the TV show, you'll notice that he has this really like coarse, graty voice. And he also has a really cool Logia ability, which is to turn into smoke. And I wanted to paint him because his post-time skip look especially is really cool. And he smokes 2 cigars, which you think would be like really unhealthy at all times. But then you realize that he's actually made of smoke, so it's not as like bad. I don't know. But I like doing the line work. I did most of the line work for this and a couple of others actually. I think later on, this one and tomorrow's one, or day 7's one, is, I don't know why I said tomorrow, because I did it yesterday when I'm recording this, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I did it with a number 3 mini detail brush spotter, and it's pretty much a tiny brush. And then I moved on to a number 6 round for the sort of wider pieces, and then a number 20 round for like the real big thick pieces where I wanted to cover a lot of area. And I also used masking fluid for smoker, which is the first time I used anything other than a grey lead pencil and ink. And I liked it because I like creating that interesting contrast between the grey tones and like pure white. And it was real fun to do smoker. And I tried to make it look like his finger was like dissolving into smoke, but instead it just looks like he's pointing at something. I don't know. And the last one for this video, the last one for this first week is Enchanted. And I thought, Enchanted Forest, where in One Piece do we have an enchanted forest? And we actually have a couple, like we have a lot of interesting forests. But ultimately I went for the funniest enchanted forest, which is the one on Thriller Bark, where it's full of zombies and like weird creatures and stuff. I mean, they're all full of weird creatures, to be honest, but this one was particularly shocking and funny to the crew members, the Straw Hats, because it's like a tree and he's like pouring a drink for a unicorn, but the unicorn is like surgically made a unicorn. It's not like a real one. It's like a horse. And the actual image has got like the horse is like semi-rotten because he's like a zombie unicorn. And I thought that was really funny. And I thought it'd be really interesting to do these weird facial expressions. So that's where we got the enchanted forest. Zombie enchanting and talking trees, and it's all the sort of crazy stuff that we love in One Piece. And I think that's about it for it. So thank you for joining me. Subscribe if you want or don't, doesn't matter. And I'll see you next time. Bye all.